the king through God, and the king is God, and he has the power to give and take life away. So when it talks about Mother of God, Mary is the Holy Roman Catholic Church. The Mother of God is the Holy Roman Catholic Church. It spells this out in these charters.
Okay, now, Jeanette.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you're talking about the Avalon Project. Tell the people where the Avalon Project is sitting at, because this is very significant.
The Avalon Project, if I recall, is, let's see, I've closed out all my documents here. Avalon Project, I believe it's the Yale College.
Yale University, ladies and gentlemen. It is one of the biggest colleges for legal standing, like Harvard. This is Yale University, is where this Avalon Project is coming out. So this isn't just something coming out of some book. This is actually coming out of one of the biggest universities in this country. Right.
And this privileges and prerogatives granted by the Catholic Majesties to Christopher Columbus in 1492. The actual website for that is avalon.law.yale.edu/15th_century/column.asp. That is the actual link to this document. But if you just type in the Avalon Project, it'll bring it all up. And I've got documents here from the 21st century clear back to 400 BCE. Now, they really got busy in the 1400s. That's when they really started writing a lot of documents. But what we have, since I have this document brought back up here, I've got a lot of highlighted on it. It has the term public notary, okay? However, most documents refers to it as the notary public, okay? Now, whenever you guys get a document notarized, I want you to know right here, once you have a document notarized, that public notary works for the Christopher Columbus crew here, all of your viceroys, all of your governors, all of the admiralty law. The notary public is now documenting your paper and making it a piece of paper that now belongs to the Catholic Pope. So anybody who does a trust for the property to protect it and notarizes it, you just gave your property to the Catholic Church, and this page 89 of the Great Controversy shows that they have all of the property. Now, when you go back to signing a mortgage document, it's really not a mortgage, it's a fealty agreement. Okay, it's a fealty agreement. And since they can take anything away at will, everything that we've ever bought in this country has been a lie. It's been a lie all along. So, but I need you to know it goes back to the Catholic Church. Now, I did a paper also on the term viceroy and vice, and the vicar of Christ, as the Pope calls himself, the vicar of Christ. Well, when you look that up in the dictionary, it means evil, immoral habits, and it actually says the word the Pope. So again, viceroy is vice is instead of, and roy means king, so it means instead of the king. So and then you have your governors, but here it refers to the governors. Right here also belongs. All of these offices are established through the Holy Roman Catholic Church and the Pope. So, but the question remains: who authorized the Pope to authorize himself to be an authority of all of the authorization? Okay? So it's all maniacal.
Okay.
Do you have any comments?
Well, what you're proving here is what some other documentation that I was just given here just the other day to support what you're sitting here saying. is from the Catholic Church, from the Roman Latin of what is being used. Some terms were handed to me about the lawyers from the 16th century, English law in pre-13th century, English and French, a person or a thing connected with, meaning a layman, non-clergy, qualified and authorized to practice law. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have been telling you here on the last Friday show and the last two private calls. There is no legislative authority. Lawyers coming in through the church side of this thing. They're coming through.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Now, the word justice. The word justice comes from the 13th century Latin, justice, Old English, but it was a Roman Catholic cult, and it was Codex, C-O-D-E-X, Justinian, from Constantinople. That is where the word justice came from.
It also came from Justinian.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one, Justinian. All right. It was a forged law of Justin and an emperor, church above the law. The first and foremost pledge of all senior legal judgments produced to protect the court, to protect the Roman cult from being held accountable for their actions. Fundamental meaning of justice. This all is coming under the Roman cult of the Catholic Church. Human being is a lesser, inferior man or woman defined legally as an animal and or as a monster, as distinguished from the ancient pre-Vatican Rome term homo, man. A key rule of law from the 14th century describing a fundamental legal fiction that is the not of an inferior man or woman as an animal, as defined by Papist decree. It gets in and explains the name of a human must always be in capital to identify that individual as property, as distinct from a free man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is coming out of the Vatican. This is coming out of the 14th century church side of this thing. A person from the 13th century Latin, legal characteristic representing an individual human being or a corporation by consent. Person is a key rule of law describing a fundamental legal fiction. Ladies and gentlemen, this goes back to 1300. This is what Jeanette is sitting here telling you. All this stuff, what does it have to do with today?
Well, I just tried to establish, that we have the historical documents that shows the means, the method, the motive, the opportunity, and the intent, and the who, the what, the when, the why, the where, and the how. You must have all of those to prove the element of the crime. And there is no statute of limitations on fraud, is there, Rod?
No, there isn't. So
also, on the biblical aspect of this will be exposing the beast, and this will be exposing the harlot, and this is going to be tearing the Roman Catholic Church apart. Now, I am putting my life on the line by doing this. That's a given. Because these people don't hesitate on killing anybody that gets in the way. And the most dangerous weapon against